You are so welcome back from that break. This is Hstv. This is Healthy Morning brought to you by Prudential Life Insurance Ghana Kanketi. And it's now time for us to focus a lens into quite another pertinent subject, a social problem or a social subject, which is adolescent reproductive health and all that it entails, and the parents, especially the mothers, role as regards to adolescent reproductive health. A very important topic that we need to talk about in our everyday lives to help our adolescents to grow up to be the future leaders that we want them to be. And I'll be joined in the studio by an expert to help me do this discussion and explain to us all that we need to understand. So you mothers, you fathers, you guardians out there know exactly what you have to do or the role that you have to play to enhance adolescents reproductive health in our everyday lives. And I'll be joined in the studio by our registered midwife, Rabiatu Afarawa Asarimenta. Good morning.
Good morning.
I said my phone.
Michelle?
You have gained weight too. I like that.
Thank you.
You're eating fine.
Yeah.
I always, because of the fun you had over the weekend.
That could be like fulfillment,
No,
you were stressed and then you became fulfilled after your trip and all that. Yeah,
wow.
So that could be.
This one is the next one because I'm booking.
Hopefully November.
Oh, that's my birthday. That's fine. I was thinking it's too far, but okay. It's a birthday. Okay, my birthday is on 13th. It's on a Sunday. So make it 12. You get it?
All right.
Special request. Make it 12 on a Saturday, then I can have fun.
Yeah, we'll
Sunday,
sing for
Thanksgiving,
you.
church,
Yes.
then I'm good to go. Okay. We'll talk about adolescent reproductive health. But before that, we'll talk about adolescent health. But there were some facts that I gathered as I was surfing the internet as regards to adolescent reproductive health that I want to share with you and the viewers as well. And it says that for millions of young people around the world, the onset of adolescence brings not only changes to their bodies, but also new vulnerabilities to human rights abuses, particularly in the areas of sexuality, marriage, and childbearing. Millions of girls are coerced or forced into unwanted sex or marriage, putting them at risk of unwanted pregnancies, unsafe abortions, sexually transmitted infections, including HIV, and dangerous childbirth. Adolescent boys are also at risk as well, and young people, both boys and girls, are disproportionately affected by HIV. Yet too many people face barriers to reproductive health information and care. Even those who are able to find the accurate information about their health and rights may be unable to access the services needed to protect their health. It comes on to say that adolescent sexual and reproductive health must be supported, and this means that we need to provide access to comprehensive sexuality education, services to prevent, diagnose, and treat STIs, and counseling on family planning. It also means that we need to empower our young boys and girls to know and exercise their rights, which includes the right to delay marriage and the right to refuse unwanted sexual advances. And for all these to make sense, then it means that adolescents need to be monitored, and we can do so by giving adolescents universal access to accurate sexual and reproductive health information and a range of safe and affordable contraceptive methods, sensitive counseling, quality obstetric and antenatal care for all pregnant women and girls, and to teach them the prevention and management of sexually transmitted infections, including HIV. And all of these that I've spoken about boils down to education, and institutions in Ghana do same. In our schools, we see how reproductive health education is intensified, even in churches, even in some social groups like La Farwa Health group, and even with some NGOs and all of that. And there's one other instrumental institution that can also promote adolescent reproductive health as the home. Yes, and that is exactly what we're going to focus today on our conversation. And this research or this facts that I shared with you is kind courtesy UNFPA, is the United Nations Sexual and Reproductive Health Agency, talking about all that we can do to promote and intensify education on adolescent reproductive health. And that's exactly what we're going to do today, paying attention more on the home as an institution to promote adolescent reproductive health. And we're going to start off by talking about adolescents in general. When we say an adolescent, who is an adolescent?
So an adolescent is someone who is transitioning from childhood into adulthood.
Okay.
So that individual is not a child, and that individual is not an adult. So it is in between. Yes.
In between.
Yes. So you get the adolescent behaving a little bit like the child, and then wanting to behave a bit like an adult.
Oh, so like a mixture. Because you are in between. You do wake a crack. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So during that time, they experience some changes that are likened to the adults.
Oh, okay.
However, their behaviors are almost like a child.
Like a child. So it's more of the child, less of the adult.
Exactly. It's a gradual approach to adulthood. Yes.
Okay. So that is who an adolescent is. So you are transitioning from childhood to adulthood. And some of your behavioral patterns will be adopted from the childhood way of life, and less of the adult
way of life.
Yes. Oh, interesting. And it means that then the health aspect of an adolescent is different from an adult livelihood and then a child livelihood, because I say adolescent health.
Yes.
So what does that entail as well?
So because the individual is transitioning from one point to the other, usually we confuse that particular state. We get our elders or our ancestors saying, "Sister winning, you are an adult now, behave like an adult," forgetting that it's a phase. The child is now learning how to behave like you, and it is now learning how to let go of the childhood behaviors. So during that time, they go through certain changes from their mental phase to their psychological to their physical states. Everything changes gradually,
just because they are transitioning from childhood to adulthood.
So you get them from the ages. It used to be 12, 13 to about 19.
We have stages of
we have stages.
Age.
It used to be 12 to 19, but now it is 10 to 21.
Oh, what results in it coming now? We are having 10-year-olds acting as adults sometimes now.
So recently,
it's because they are menstruating.
Yes. Recently, a lady posted on one of the females group on Facebook that her child, 10-year-old girl, has started menstruating, and she doesn't think it's normal. Though she was able to at least run her through what she has to know.
But you as a midwife, what do you think?
It's very normal. We are evoluting, if that's the word.
Okay.
So we keep changing. We adapt things from our environment. We behave or respond to infections, and then vaccines here and there. We respond to a lot of things that changes us as we go, and then give birth to our offspring. So they also adapt and change, and then we all go through an evolution. So yes, it's normal that we have a 10-year-old girl having her menses.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So from that stage, it used to be 12 years to 19 years, but now it's come to 10 years to what?
21.
21?
Yes.
But you're no more 18.
You're no more 18. But then we all have ways and means we adapt to changes. Some respond very fast, others don't at all. Yes, so you get a 10-year-old child responding to all the changes that come with being an adolescent. So she's now menstruating. She now has a lot of flesh around her breast area. She has a lot of hips. She is growing taller than she was. She's behaving a little bit differently from the way she was. Initially, she would go to you with the market. If you ask her to sit home, she would say she won't sit. She would want to go.
She would now want to go out.
Yes, but now she won't want to go with you. She wouldn't even want people to see her mingling with you. She wants to feel independent.
Wow.
Yes, and adulthood comes with trying to be independent on your own and less dependent.
You get to that adolescent stage.
Yes,
sometimes
so
you want
now
to be on your own. And what would you want to be doing on your own?
It's a phase that you are going through. So you want to learn how to be independent. I want to know how to run my own room, run my own stuff. I don't want mommy to come in. However, since because it's between the childhood and adulthood, we get them conflicting. Sometimes the childhood behaviors come in. So if mommy gives you the space, you think mommy has abandoned you. However, if mommy comes into your space, you are like, mommy, I'm gone, leave me alone. Exactly. So
wow, I believe that's why a lot, because even on Fridays we've been talking about parenting teens, and we realize that it's quite a very delicate, sensitive period for parents
and then the
children, because there's so much conflict there. I get it. So it's because it's a mixture of both the child acts and then the adult acts.
Yes.
So sometimes mommy is giving you the baby treatment, you think you're an adult. Sometimes mommy is giving you the adult treatment, you think you're baby.
Mommy is so mean.
Yes.
Because it keeps switching. You are letting go of a part of your life and embracing a new part.
Okay.
Yes.
So the switching from baby way of life to adult way of life, is it because of your environment, because of how even parents are related to you? Naturally it switches?
It's natural, but the environment also has influence on it.
Okay.
So we have a child who is used to, let's say, a single child, an only child.
An only child.
Yes, the child is used to all the toys, used to all the attention. Okay. Now, as the child grows into the adolescent or adulthood phase, the child feels that, okay, is it because I'm now behaving this way that mommy won't attend to me again? Usually I will say, mommy, I want milk, and mommy will give me milk, but now mommy wants me to go and pick the milk myself. Some will be able to respond to it, some would not be able to respond to it, and then that's where we get the rebellion coming in.
Wow. Yes. I get it.
So it's an interesting phase, actually. Yes. But if you, as an adult, we have to know that we've been there before. At least you can remember some stuff that you did when you were a child. At that stage.
As a parent?
Yes, as a parent. So when the child starts doing that, you have to understand, okay, now my child is into this transitional mode. My child is here. But the problem is with the adults, the fact that you feel that you used to care for someone and then now that individual wants to do it for themselves. It's like you feel sad and sorry about it. You want to still have the pride of having to take care of them, and then they are also saying, no, let me do it myself. So if you are not careful enough, you may not be able to give the child what it needs to transition properly.
Wow.
Yeah.
So does it mean that at this stage as a mother you have to pay attention to the child?
You have to be very attentive. Because with the attentiveness, it even starts from infancy, especially with the girls.
Okay.
You need to create this bond between them that they can actually rely on you for good information. Okay. But we have this setting that it's not everything that we talk about. Once you're a child, there are certain things that are taboo for you to talk about. Yes. That's where the problem comes from.
I think I'm jumping, but we'll come back and get into that into details. But with how mothers communicate even their sexual organs to children growing up. Me, my mommy taught me Tutu. Tutu.
At least,
like,
at
dodo,
least.
Dodo. So it's like, I know it's Dodo, Dodo, that kind of thing for the guys.
Yes.
But we see how young mothers now are teaching their children that, no, this is
a vagina.
This is that. What's the difference? Why do you think it's necessary that young mothers now are doing that?
So it's necessary for the child to understand and know what organ it is, what its function is, and why it belongs to me and not to the other person. So yes, I have a vagina. This is called a vagina. This is what it does. Right answer.
Don't play around. Don't say
exactly.
The whole sort of funny names that they give these.
And then usually they are afraid because of our school system, because of the kids we play with. Okay, so now I know I have something called a vagina. I know my brother has something called a penis. How do I relate to the outside world as a child? Parents usually feel that if they let their child know the real names, they go out there and then they mention it, and then the public there is going to say that this particular child didn't have a good upbringing. You see, so
especially when they say it's the local dialect, you can imagine how it will come out as.
Yes, so there are certain barriers that kind of squeezes our ability to teach the kids what they have to know.
Wow. So between the schools and then the homes, which do you think that in education, which institution do you think that education should be intensified?
It's the home. The schools give you basics. Okay. So you can remember our science class, reproductive class, you just draw the fallopian tube somehow. Yes, that's all.
And you label the back for your mark.
Exactly.
You don't even understand.
You don't understand where it's even located, but you know it's something for the girls. Okay. That's all. Okay. When we start reproductive class, we start giggling and all that. So teachers are a bit uncomfortable teaching it. Same for biology class. So it's like we don't get into details when we are in school. We just get the basic, the briefs for the exams purposes, not for us to, understand it as part of us. So we have to start from home. For the home side, you are doing it practical. So mommy is here, daddy is here. You see, this is the little version of daddy. So when one day you become a good boy, you are going to grow old as daddy is. This is how you will be in future. You too, this is how you will be in future. You'll be like me. So I know that, okay, one day, I'm going to have breasts. One day, my hips are going to get a bit bigger. And I'm going to look a little bit plump than I look now. Okay, so this is how my brother is also going to look like. I understand everything because I am seeing them practically. Okay, so yes. This is how you keep yourself as a girl. This is how you keep yourself as a boy. The boy is seeing what daddy does. The girl is also seeing what mommy does. So the boy and the girl will be able to understand all these changes properly as compared to being shown on the board, a little bit of video and writings. It's just for children for sake. So they won't really understand it. So it's the home that has to start it. As early as possible. Yes.
But Robbie, I'm trying to wrap my mind around this. The way you are talking, that you say that this is baby boy, and then you tell baby boy that when you become a good boy and you become like daddy. So this is like your small baby, you become like big baby. That's how we say it in like the nice homes and all of that. The mothers who are literate, or even the parents who are literate. So you say that, okay, so Junior, this is you, you be big daddy. Mimi, this is you be big mommy. In the future of that. But let's talk about mothers who are illiterate, who do not understand the English. So they have to communicate this in the local dialect. So if it's she, mom hasn't gone to school, but she knows all parts of the body and wants to pass on this education to the 5-year-old child and teach the child the sex organs, it's going to be communicated or taught in tree. Is that right? Because the child then ends up that this is this, this is that. Is looking at the environment right now. How do you balance that?
So that's why I talked about the factors that hinder the progress. So if I am your mommy and I'm with you in the mukase, we are cooking, you are going to definitely ask me, Mama, what is this? Mama, what is that? Mama, when I bath, I see this. What is the meaning? In tree. Mama, then where your friend no for. Wo me den so. If you say me a penny, wo then kitten because we are kwada.
Okay.
Ma, dada will be. No, dada so will be, but dada den enye kesi se won't send a dada kokote no. Mema den sanity or no for MP. If the child is able to understand all these things, and then they grow up, they see a guy with big breasts, they will be able to know that no, a guy is not supposed to have breasts. So why is this guy having breasts? Breast cancer, no, a chimma. So they can even identify, say, no, if you're having this thing, then you should go and check. It might be something else. All right. So at least you are with the child alone at home.
Okay.
Trying say when your friend say about with a tree where it's heavy, so we use the tafrache something, right? Tell the child that a domwa and kasa say may child because I say unim, but domwa and nka just because of the cultural setting we have. It is not allowing us to be, vocal about certain things yet. So let the child understand that. So then you should know it, but don't go out there saying it. And remember, say where then you mention it down. No. She say and this one and say but I say onim because I can't cry e bia na me ni ho nkwa na wo unyim be do me say na meti na ma bo abrewa say na ubehun say ubenyin to say na maye na same way for the child, the male child well. Too. Yes, because initially in the beginnings we find mothers bathing with their children. Yes, so that's the point where you have to start the education. Because children learn by sight and by what they hear. So I've seen it. I've seen that mommy's own is just like mine. Mine is small, but mommy's own is big. Mommy's own has hair, mine doesn't have it. The child will ask you. Once the child has seen, the child will ask you. And now our problem is with the internet. Children are exposed to the internet than we, the adults, are. Because we don't have time.
Yes.
We are seriously doing stuff to care for them. So they have the time to, get to the gadgets. They Google here and there. Sometimes you just tap something unknowingly and then you are exposed to everything. Yes. So don't assume that the modern day child is ignorant or naive. No. The child might not be saying them, but they know it.
They know it.
Seriously, they know it. Yes. So if we keep having this old cultural perspective where we think that a child is innocent, then we are going to keep a lot of information, healthy information from our children, and then this will affect them. Yeah.
And so when kids like this are exposed to screen time all the time and they get to know these things on social media without their parents teaching them, some of them try to keep it to themselves.
Yes.
What allows them to hide it from themselves and not discuss that? Mommy, I saw this when it popped up on social media. Explain to me. Why do they now keep it to themselves? And even during our Friday session on discussing parenting teams, sometimes they keep it to themselves and they now discuss with other people, other friends.
Because they feel one, ma, I saw this. We have got that bunny. Why not catch us? So next time I'm not coming to you.
Okay.
I go to daddy because I think mommy will beat me. So maybe let me go to daddy. Daddy also give me the same reaction. We are making phone from same fabra me family. So it's like around that time again we should know that the child is learning how to be an individual adult on its own, whilst letting go of the childhood behaviors. So okay, when I did this is the reaction I got. So how about let me go and ask my friend. She goes to ask her friend, and then her friend gives her open information, whether good or bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I also saw it. This is why it is. Maybe the other friend didn't even ask the parent, but got exposed to other naughty peers. Okay, so yeah, this is how it is. This I even heard it on TV. It was a man who was talking about it. Blah 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 blah. So she knows that okay, when there are stuff to do with certain things like this, I have to go and ask my friend Amma or Kojo. He is knowledgeable in that aspect more than my mommy. Mommy will beat me, daddy will beat me. So then I link up to the peers. So again, the environment you create for the child will influence what the child comes to you with.
Okay. Let's bounce back a little bit and talk about the physical, behavioral, and emotional changes. Then we come to the sexuality and come to the roles of the parents, especially the mother. So let's start off with the physical, behavioral, emotional changes. So that in case I start seeing something like this in my child at home, I'm able to tell that okay, it's time for this child to be an adolescent or transition from childhood to adulthood, so that I don't panic. I realize that it's normal. Like your woman saying that the child is menstruating at the age of 10 and she finds it quite abnormal. So what changes will you start to see in an adolescent?
So the stages again, from 10 to about 14 years, you won't necessarily see. Again, it depends on individual bodies. But standardly 10 to 14, you won't necessarily see any changes. You just have a break in voice for the guys. You have a little bit, for the boys. You have break in voice. You would have hair coming around your face, your armpit and all that. Some would have started their wet dreams, but not all of them. So initially from the 10 to 14, you won't necessarily see any changes at all. But then that would be the early adolescent. So maybe you would find the child being independent, trying to choose the kind of clothing to wear. Initially, you can pick any clothes for the child and then it will respond to it. But now, you pick a red dress, the child will say, okay, I don't want red today, I want pink. Yes, so they are trying to, assume an independence mode. Then you go to the 15 to somewhere 17. That is where the changes are very prominent. So you have your breaking voice. Now it's a bit deeper than it was. You have your hair. You have the wet dreams. Now the wet dreams are in situ. You find out that you initially, when you were a child, you were clinging with same-sex individual. So boys, girls, girls. You don't even want a girl to come into your clan. But now you find yourself getting attracted to the opposite sex.
Wow.
Yes, it's a natural phenomenon that happens. Your system is learning how to love. Your system is learning how to build relationships from scratch. You know that of which you do with your mom and dad, and then peers of your own presentation of physique. That means boys or girls. But now your system is learning how to create relationships with an opposite sex.
Okay.
That is not mommy, that is not relative, that is not mommy's friend, but this is a stranger I'm trying to create something fresh with. Yes, it's same for the girls too. So with the girls, you would have your menses coming in. Now you have it coming in at 10. That doesn't mean that when your child is 11 and it's not in, it's a problem.
Okay.
When your child is 17 and it's not in, it's a problem.
Wow, 17?
Yes.
It's equally not a problem.
At all. Some have it 18s. I have a friend who had hers at 20. On her 20th birthday, that's when it came.
Wow, that's a nice gift.
So we are all different, and then we get it at different stages.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have your menses and you start having your breasts pumping up.
Let's focus on the girl, then we'll do the boy.
All right, so with the girl, you have your breasts pumping up. Yes, you start to have
but
your
of course,
shape.
you won't be milking.
No, not at all. You are not supposed to milk. So if there's milk coming in, you have to go and check it. It might be something else, breast cancer or something else. Yes. So
you
you
can have
have
breast cancer at a young age.
yes.
Right?
Once you reach puberty, you are exposed as a female.
Okay.
Yes. So you have our breast. We have our nice shape coming in. We begin to have pubic hair. Yes, we still get attracted to the boys, or we begin to get attracted to boys.
Wow.
Not necessarily for sex, but just to create friendship, create relationship.
That's
I want
something, a natural
yes,
something
natural.
that will happen.
Yes, and then you begin to have your menses. Yes, you begin to know that your roles are changing. Initially, you might go out to be playing around with, but now you feel that you have to be like mommy is. You have to observe what mommy does at home. So you get girls now mingling or clinging with their mummies in the kitchen, trying to hang out with her, trying to create conversation. So they want to gossip with you. They want to chat with you, their mommy. Yes.
Okay.
That's for the girls.
That's for the girls.
And then for the guys too, again, you have your pubic
So
hair.
it means that for the girls, it means that if at that time you've not developed that hips and that flat of it,
oh, you would. Ubenya. Like I said, we all transition differently.
Okay.
I went through SHS without bra. I didn't have my bra on. It was only singlets that I had. Through SHS. It was after SHS that I started having some small pimple B. Yes.
You don't say.
Yes, but I had friends right from class 6. They were so heavy, and then they would walk, and I would rather be feeling like, can you breathe?
Breathless for them.
Yes, so we are all different.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, no,
I had my at least balance. Yes, so we are all different. Once you are not having it at that time, doesn't mean you wouldn't have it.
You wouldn't have it.
Yes, you would definitely have it.
With you, there is faith.
Yes,
there is hope.
Hope, big hope. Yes,
okay,
and then
so let's go to the boys.
So for the boys, so our hair will start growing both up there, our beards, and then our armpits, and then our pubic area. Just like the girl also have her pubic area hair coming out, the guys also have it around their penis growing area. You will get the hair. You would find out that your penis is a bit heavier than you are used to. Yes, and then
when you've not done anything, it's just weighing a little bit more.
Exactly. And then you would also have your wet dreams coming in. You will start dreaming that you kiss the girl in your class. You wake up and then
a dream in the sleep.
Yes.
You wake up and it's all a dream.
Your bed is wet.
Wow.
So you think you really know it's your system trying to activate your semen production stage. Yes. So these are some of the signs that you get. You get the boys having broad chests. They now want to prove how strong they are or how muscular they are. So they try lifting heavy stuff. They try to help you when you've not called for their help.
Like my brother does, wanted to help when I've not called for help.
Yes.
They will learn.
that's the changes that you go through as a boy. And then you find out that you also try to mingle with girls. Like the girls were trying to mingle with the boys. You also try to mingle with girls more. You try to pick a favorite out of them. Yes. You try to, become, the men become very adventurous.
The men?
Yes. And then
more than the women?
More than the women during that stage, because they want to prove how strong they think they are. So they become a little bit reckless as compared to the girls. So you find them now wanting to ride motorbikes. Yes, giddy giddy. Everything giddy giddy. They are there.
To have some
dreadlocks there. So again, they know that indeed they are not adults yet, and they are not children yet. So they try to explore, experiment. Let me do this and see what will happen. Let me do this, what will happen.
Oh, yes. that's the feeling.
Exactly.
I see.
So when
but sometimes they do and it doesn't end up, and they go back to do.
That is because they are transitioning. A child's behavior is ego. Like, I want this, give it to me. Period. I want this, give it to me. Period. But this side, he wants to do it himself. He doesn't want to wait for you to do it. So he does it, it fails, and he's like, no, maybe I did this wrongly. Let me change it and do it this way. Yes. So my junior brother, he would dismantle his toys and then try to fix it. If it doesn't work, he would let daddy buy him the same toy. He would dismantle it again and then now observe, okay, mine, this is how I fixed it. This one is fixed like that. Okay, so this, then he would do it himself. Yes, he'll try to mingle, fidget with bicycles. He'll fidget with my early morning. He'll open my daddy's car bonnet and then pull out. You don't even know what he's doing, but he says that is what he sees daddy doing, so he's also doing. He doesn't even understand what he's doing. So it's like
exploring.
Very good. They want to behave like the adult, although once in a while their childhood behaviors come in. They want to still behave like an adult, so they get it and then they hand it over to their friends. Yes. So that's why the education is very necessary, because what you teach your child is what he goes out there or she goes out there with.
Interesting. So those are the physical changes that you're going to see as an adolescent.
Yeah.
How about the emotional and the behavioral changes?
Yeah. So with the emotional, now you know that, okay, this is a girl, this is a boy. What makes a girl a girl? So you are now curious. You want to find out more. You want to create relationships, like I said. So how does it feel like talking to a girl, close to a girl, being alone with a girl? How does it feel like? You now want to behave like an adult, though you've not reached there. So you want to be treated like an adult. You want to be spoken to like an adult. So when you go to school with your mommy drops you off and she's like, won't you give me a peck? Mommy, there are people around, When your mommy sends you to the church or your daddy sends you to church and he's, talking about Sunday school and all that, no, don't do that to me. You get embarrassed easily, you get sad easily. These are all because the hormones in you have now started activating properly. So the masculine hormones behave as they have to be, and then the feminine hormones also behave as such. And then when they balance, they also have the effect that they give you. So you respond to all these hormones, and then the hormones will let you behave in a particular way. You become aware of yourself. So now the boy knows that when I wake up, my penis also wakes up. Mommy, why? Or daddy, why? When I sleep and wake up, I don't worry on myself, but I find out my bed is wet. So you are always in the why mode. Why is this? Why is that? What happens if I do this? What will happen if I do that? Yes. And then you respond to external stimuli, that's external connections. Why is she talking to me like I'm a baby? Why is he talking to me like I'm an adult? Like, I don't know how to do it. So if I messed up, why are you talking to me that way? You see, meanwhile, you really messed up. Yes. So that's how emotionally you become to. Yes.
So do you start to flirt?
Yes. Because you are trying to learn how to build relationships. That is why the flirting will come in, because you don't know how it's done. You feel you have to be friendly, and you've observed from movies, from your environment, from adults around you that, okay, this is how they do it. Let me also try it and see. Now you have a bevy of girls around and you pick one of them. Okay, so let me target Amma. Let me see how it goes with Amma. So you find them jumping from one place to the other, one girl to the other, one boy to the other. So yes, and then your jealousy behavior also comes into play. So you learn how to be jealous, how to own a property. So you feel Amma is yours, so nobody should talk to Amma. Someone comes in to talk to Amma and you want to show that, with the men, they want to show that they can protect you. So they become violent against the other person, or they become a little bit extra protective. Yes, these are some of the emotional things that they go through. With the girls, you find out that when they start to have their mood swings. Again, it's your system learn all these kind of emotions available. So one moment she's happy, the next moment she's sad, she's excited, she's irritable, she doesn't want anybody around her. All these changes are because of the hormones and then signals being sent from your brain to your body. Yes.
So you as an individual and as an adolescent, it looks like this is then the stage that you want to explore, learn, emulate, and all of that. So when you start feeding on wrong information, how are you able to tell yourself? How do you identify that this is something that may destroy me or may make me go astray? How do you identify such information or such groups or things like that for you to get back on track?
Well, for you as an individual adolescent, you don't know. You can't pick the positive from the negative unless your parents started as a child. So when they start teaching you as a child, this is what it happens when you get there, then you are aware that this was what mommy was talking about, this was what daddy was talking about. So if I do it this way, then I would really mess up. If I do it that way, I'll really mess up. But if you're not exposed to all these things and you are just now getting exposed to it, you are in your experimental stages. So you just go in and do it, and then you get your experience from the outcomes that happens when you do all these things. So, let's say smoking. You get exposed to it the first time you smoke and then your chest burns. Maybe you were asthmatic, so you realize that when you smoked, maybe it's triggered the asthma to come in. So you are like, this time when I did it, it didn't go right. Let me try again and see. You try again, it messes you up again, and you will be like, then maybe this is not for me. It is a moment where you would have to decide for yourself how you want your life to be. So it depends on what fancies you and then what you feel is boring to you. So when you get exposed to the wrong stuff, you end up practicing the wrong stuff, not deliberate, but because that was what you were exposed to first.
Interesting. So viewers, if you just tuned in, you are watching Healthy Morning here on Hstv, and this segment is Stay Alive, and we've been talking about parenting teens for some time now. Last 2 weeks we had that conversation, and last week Friday as well we had that conversation on parenting teens, and today we're giving you a full package by adding on the health aspect. Hence our conversation today around adolescent reproductive health with our registered midwife Rabiata Faiwa Sarimita. And we've discussed a lot about most of the physical changes, the behavioral changes, the emotional changes, especially when there's a transition from childhood to adulthood. You have a mixture of the two, but more of the childhood activities or changes. So it looks like quite a very sensitive stage for your adolescent child out there as a parent that you have. So whatever question that you have concerning this conversation, they are so much welcome. You can join in the conversation by sending us your thoughts, comments, or whatever question that you have via our WhatsApp platform that you have the numbers at the left hand side of your screen. Or you can send us a call. You can give us a call because the phone lines are activated now. It's 0302 776379. And then whatever question you have, whatever is, pricking your mind on adolescent reproductive health, you can call us and share with us, and then we will learn from there, give you an appropriate answer for your child out there, and then viewers as well will learn from that. And the very first message I have here says that I think parents should start teaching their children only when the child start asking questions. And this is Nana of SBS Technology Ghana. Do you concur to that?
So that is their style.
When the child starts to ask questions, then you teach. So when naturally some kids are very close, want to give their space.
They see so that means they won't ask you ever, and then you will never teach them. Because with my setting, even though I was asking questions, I didn't start asking questions at that side, but I was exposed to it. So it depends on the kind of relationship or the environment around the home again. So if you're a mother, if you have, an open environment, it's easy for you to teach. If you have an experimental environment, it's easy for you to teach because you get exposed to all the things that the child is exposed to. So, example, your child goes to school.
Okay.
The child comes home and says, Mommy, when I was going to Wiwi, Kweku followed me. What are you going to do about that?
Okay.
Hey, don't let Kweku follow you. Okay, fine. But why won't Kweku follow me? You need to let the child know why Kweku doesn't have to follow her.
Okay.
Yes. So it is the environment, the kind of conversation you have with your child at the infancy stage that would influence whether you should expose them to it or not. Or you can make it a deliberate attempt that, okay, when my child is 4 years, I'll start teaching them this. When my child is 5, I'll start teaching them this. Yes, so it's an individual preference.
Yeah. Okay, let's run through some of the tips that we have. It says that creating a culture of open communication at family meal times.
Yes.
Let's discuss
that. So family meal times, that is where you get to bond with your child, right? So let's say we are cooking rice.
Okay.
By all means, the child will ask, Mommy, why is it that it's only a girl that cooks and not a boy? So now you wouldn't even give her only the adolescent's health aspect, but you let the child also understand the gender roles.
Okay.
Oh, it's not for only girls, but you see, daddy is repairing his car and then Kweku is there, so that when daddy is not available, Kweku can also learn. When I am not available, you can also help, but then Kweku can come in and also learn how to cook.
I have my first caller, Matilda. Let's speak with her. Good morning, Matilda. Hello.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, Tilly. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you.
Right. Please go ahead. Okay, please go ahead.
When the person who says, 7 years going on. Oh, sorry, I'm about to say, this go for now. And the honestly, is no sorry, sir.
Okay.
Because I'm 7 years old, sorry, I'm not sorry, sorry, sir. For some time, dear son, I'm just a new.
Okay. That's
also, Uncle Alonso. Or Biagra or Cadibia, or say, where you are saying, so there's an Iana who fell a wet to the Banasa, or the other thing or can. The young woman say, I go with you as say, young today. You don't say anything.
Oh, but that's a possible for you. But come once a while, why? Okay.
Yeah. So like she said, her child is 7.
7 years.
But when
a male child.
He gets his penis rising.
It's bolo.
Yes, bolo. Yes, it's normal. It's normal. So this is where
it's normal for it to rise.
Yes,
at the age of 7.
It's supposed to.
At what age should that start?
Well, like it used to be during the adolescent stages, but now 7? We have 7. I have someone who is 6. I lived in an environment, a community with someone who had a boy. When it's time for the child to bath and go to school, then you will see them, let it sleep. What is this? Put your thing down. Just because his penis was up that early morning and she wasn't comfortable with it and she didn't know. And then the child will be, Mommy, it's not me. Mommy, it's not me. You know that. So like I said, we are changing. Evolution is happening. So like what was normal back then?
It's normal.
It's now coming down the ages.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay,
so it's
normal for teenagers to have a male child and have the.
That is where the daddy comes in to also play his role.
So it's a dual role here.
Yes, because she said Offery because she doesn't
know with the aspect of when she teaches the child these things, the child says it and she feels that the best.
So that is where I said that fine. Teach the child, but let the child know that okwa bontina men can say yes, because I kwada bonny, but say neti. Nti fasha ubutum why? Say nebeya okwa bontina obi ka say you draws na me sure because mama see me. And yes, we are kwada bonny, but enti say we nchire amount for one say mama opia on yin entire nchire. Nti so okwa me So you would have to find a way to convince the child how to understand the private part and then how to behave in public.
Okay.
Yes.
Grace is also on the line, and let's speak with her. Then we'll
Sure.
continue. Grace, good morning.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, Grace. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, please go
I have
ahead.
a small daughter. When she wakes up, she sees that my breast is bigger. Hello.
I can hear you.
Yeah. She sees that my breast is bigger, but her earth is small. Does it mean I should start teaching her at that point?
How old is she?
She's 6 years.
6 years. Okay. Okay. A midwife will touch on that for you. Thank you for calling us as well.
She's
That's
6.
6
I started
years.
mine at 5 around that place. So
No, the child is seeing that mommy's breast is bigger than mine.
your breast is big, mine is small. Teacher Patricia's own is pointed, yours is asleep.
Hey.
So you have to. That is why I said,
There's so much observance.
they are
How do you see
they
that
are very observant. They are very, very observant. So if we keep thinking that akwada onim hwe, then we will be messing up. Once onim hwe, nti no bisa say mama I didn't know the neck say na me the neck to. So you have to teach the child say.
But I want to hold brief for the parents. Naturally, when your child says, I can't imagine in your wife.
That's the initial panic. Hey, how come? Yes.
To be honest, then maybe later you come back and teach the
That
child.
is why, as a parent, the parents also need the education. They also have to know that once you've had a child, by all means, expect this from them. So when they start asking, just because you know you are supposed to expect it from them, it will be easy. Like my mom again, because she was exposed to the health stuff, I started asking and she was like, okay, yes, so now it's time for me to teach you. So once you are equipped, you are equipped with the knowledge about the reproductive health system and the reproductive tract and all that, you would be able to be ready to teach your child.
Okay.
But once they start asking, please teach them. You are supposed to teach them.
Supposed to teach them. Okay, let's get into our next point. It says that create an atmosphere of honesty, mutual trust and respect. I'm sure it's the parents
Parent-child
or
yes.
parent-adolescent relationship. So create an atmosphere of honesty, mutual respect, and then.
So again, Kweku came to ask you, Mommy, why is it that my penis rises in the morning? Fioko akola boni can't cover books. Then Kweku knows that I can't ask Mommy. Kweku goes to Daddy. Daddy, yesterday my penis was up and Mommy was talking in my face. Go away. You are not supposed to know. Kwada there. Obo achichi there. You see, so all these barriers, you are supposed to break them.
Okay.
Let them understand why something is happening to them. Let them be able to trust you. Okay. So, okay. Sign a buy on. Say anything tina ebanisa. Just a baby we do no to me. Udon saka oba or to me you say. Na se me kasa udon saka. Yes, udi need diagro udon sabeka. You will be a friend in Pemu agro and in Penifone di. Wa kwada no dis agro ni be out me you say Emma or be fire funu so. To me go school because me say me to school fees ma e say won hwe oban and e che say won koye ejuma and I won say na ejuma so ye den. So you let the child understand that okay, this is what it works like. This is someone I can ask and then I'll get an honest response from. Okay, because now you the parent, you are battling social media. You are battling peer groups. You are battling bad gang out there against your child and you alone. So you would have to be the first point of call. So you have to create that trust, mutual respect. For the child to know that, okay, even though I'm a child, I have to know this. But when it's time, I can do that. Now it's not the time for me to do that.
Okay. I have another call on the line. We speak with her and continue that. Hi, good morning. Hello, Rebecca.
Yes.
First lady.
Yes.
First lady.
Pardon?
Hi, Rebecca.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes, we patrol you too.
It's very necessary the parents to teach their child, because when I was 11 years, I got my menses. I didn't know
when I shared I was like staying with her. She wasn't my real mom. When I showed it to her, she told me, "Oh yeah, 11 years old, when you're collaborating, and I had the brain anyway. So like me, when I never to ground, I put you on the pad. So it is very necessary. The parents to teach their children how to, like when you get to this stage, you get your menses and you do this and you do that. And you told me, so I watching, say, we apply. So it is very necessary to do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Rebecca, First Lady, for calling us and giving us that contribution. Very important. But this she was with somebody who was not her biological mom. So maybe the love wasn't there for her to teach her that this and this is. But what fault is hers for her to
it's because of the biocultural barriers.
But this is not a biological mom. So how do we go about that aspect as well? Because
so instead of the telenovelas, we should create educational programs that will influence not just the child but the adult too. We should have programs that will teach the mothers how to teach their young ones how to behave in a certain way at a certain point in time and to help. Yeah. Okay.
Rabbi, I have a last question to what you said earlier. You mentioned that at the adolescent age, they become very curious, very adventurous. They want to explore, learn, emulate, and do all sort of stuff. And then you also mentioned the point that as parents, are supposed to, develop or generate that mutual respect and that atmosphere of trust between you, a parent, and then as an adolescent. So I'm thinking about it. When you open up to a child and then tell the child this and that, yes, and even go further to explain that it's not selling a diagonal and but in Pemagua and all those kind of things. Don't you think it kind of breaks their mind to want to try it because of that exploring period that they are in? So that say, that conflict of interest there. How do you
usually
tackle that?
That is our perception that when we expose them to the truth, they would want to try it. No,
it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way. This is how I'll do it if I'm a parent. So you come to me.
Please do it.
You come to me, Mommy, I've started seeing something red. It's called menses. Every child at this age does it. When you do it, means that you can have a baby. Now, having a baby is very difficult. You will think that I'm lying, but it is very difficult. This is what will happen. This is what will happen. So I will tell you all the phases in pregnancy. Mommy, but how will I get pregnant? Good. You are going to, if you allow a boy to sleep with you in bed, not just sleep here and there, we have something called sex. If you have sex with a boy, that is what is going to happen. You are going to get pregnant and you won't be able to go to school. Lucky enough, we have role models around us. Look at this woman. She didn't have a child when she was also a child. So she was able to go to school and do this and do that. Expose the child to all the truths that you want to have to back whatever it is that you are telling or teaching your child. Okay. Lucky again enough, we have the opposite side. Look at this person. It's because of this and that. That is why this. And this person, this and that. So now what do you think? How do you think you would want your life? Do you want to have a baby early so that you won't go to school and then blah, blah, blah? Let the child be able to choose. Okay, Mommy, I think I want this one. I don't want this one. Again, with me, when I got to that stage, my dad had a female pilot. He calls her Yaya. Yes. We were in Birmingham. So my dad would just hold my hand. Have you seen the airport? You see this plane? It's a female that is riding it. If you get pregnant, can you even ride the plane? You can't pilot a plane.
You can't fly that.
You see, so go to school. By all means, you have a baby, but you have to get this and this and that. And then when you are done with them, you can have your baby. Like enough, there are, the teenagers around who have their baby. You see, she can't teach her child well. She can't go to school. She can't give money, blah, blah. So you would have to create the environment that will help your child be able to learn. Like I said, they learn by observation and what they hear. They trust you, the parents. So if my parents are saying that don't do this, I'm not going to do that. Don't disappoint me, okay? Don't get pregnant, I beg you. So the child is aimed at not disappointing you, the mother or the father. Because we want to prove to our parents that we've done something for them. Every child wants to see their parents happy. Even though we will get the rascals around.
Every child wants to see the parents happy. So interesting, educative conversation that we had today. I'm so happy. And I'm trying to remember what I was doing when I was an adolescent. Like, I can't remember what I was doing, what I was into. I'm trying to remember, but
for me, I was a tomboy, so I remember everything.
I'm trying to remember what I was doing, things like the emotional changes. I'm trying to remember anything, but but thank you so much, Rabi, for answering our invitation and being here and helping us understand adolescent reproductive health and the parents who, especially the mothers. We are so grateful. And thank you to viewers as well for sending us your messages and calling us and contributing to this segment of the show. So this is how we wrap up on this segment, which is the last segment on the show today. My name is Stephanie Adesinamanyan, and I did this with Rabia Tafawa Sarmenta, who is a resident midwife. But before I take leave of you this morning, I'd like to say a belated happy birthday to one beautiful lady. She is Sandra Ej, and this message is coming from our producer Shadrach Abbey. He says that may the good Lord continue to bless you beyond a measure. May you increase from grace to grace, and may you grow under the goodness of God, and may you keep being pretty like you are. A message from our producer Shadrach Abbey to you, Sandra Ej. Yesterday was your birthday, so wherever you are, a happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you, and God bless you in all your endeavors. So we are wrapping up today. My name is Stephanie Adesinamanyan, and I was here with Rabi, and then Precious Azuma was also here to give you the latest in the world of sports. We'll catch you, God willing, tomorrow. Have a good morning.